Welcome to Big Hoss's Tailgate.
Oh, I don't know. I know you got to do your intro stuff.
Oh no, I was just gonna kick it off. Just let it go into us talking about video games.
Works for me, man.
Because I'm trying to do like the whole Rogan thing where it's they just start into a conversation and they're like, "Oh, are you recording?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "What?"
There we go.
And then I was like, always listen to the first 5 minutes because you never know if someone's gonna end up saying something crazy or, because someone's like, "Yeah, that person's a real bitch," right? And you're like, "Whoa!" Like,
Yeah. Let's say I think it's called Exhibitor. It's what it's called for that dude.
the guy that mods games.
He just mods all these old 2D scrolling games from the Super Nintendo and Sega era.
Oh, that's
and he
the
just
best.
does that.
I remember one time I was down in Morgantown, and there was this bar called the Fallout Shelter, and it was like basically in this old Fallout shelter in this bank or whatever. Yeah. And they made it into like a bar / arcade. They were playing like Pokemon on PlayStation, and I was like, "That is the coolest thing ever!" Like, why am I waiting till now to do this? Like, why did I need all these adapters if we could have just done this?
I know.
It's ridiculous. Like, just sell me the thing on a disc and I can just go do it.
So it's called Exhibitor. It is free for anybody out there who wants to play some custom fan-made games with this dude. Yeah, I'll show you here. You can check it out. They have their own Superman game they created. It just takes a little bit because it's a glitchy website. But, yeah, where's the games? And then again, they're all free to download. So you can go. They just redid the X-Men 92 arcade game.
Oh, yeah. Because I remember, they re-released that for like iOS like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And now you can't re-download it again or nothing. It's like, why offer? I paid $1 for this. Why am I not?
Yeah.
Why can I not play the game now?
I have it downloaded when it came out on my Xbox 360, and that's where it stayed because you can't download it anymore. Same with the Simpsons game. I got that back in that same time frame too.
Yeah, they're trying to make that argument because I think Ubisoft got sued by people who played The Crew.
Okay.
Do you remember when The Crew came out? That was that like coast to coast driving game. You could drive literally the entire United States.
Yeah.
And they're shutting the servers down. Well, the game's online only. They won't make an offline mode. So people are just like, all the progress you did, you lost. And they're like, well, that's not really fair to us.
Yeah.
Like, we paid for the game. They're like, yeah, but you guys don't own your games. And now everyone's like, wait a minute here. Like, we don't own our stuff. We don't own, because that same argument goes to, you don't own the movies that you rent or buy off TV. You don't own any of that stuff. So what's the purpose of buying all this?
I know. I'm a big advocate of like having physical media. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'll be honest. When I bought my PlayStation 5, it was the time when it was hard to get, and the only one I could get was the disc one. And so
now you're making options for me where it's like I can't even have anything physical.
Yeah. Well, I've read about the way the next systems are going to be operating. There will not. They were supposed to, for both Xbox and PlayStation. Those new PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox were supposed to be diskless. They wasn't going to have any, and then fan backlash, so they added it back in. But from leaks I've read about, is they will not have that for the next generation. It's gone. It will be download only. Which again, like you said, if the game's for online only, and they decide not to make it for offline, then what's the point in buying that game?
Well, I think they want to make gaming to the point where it's a streaming service.
Yeah.
Like same thing as movies and stuff. Like, oh yeah, you're going to stream your thing. I'm like, that's cool, but when the internet goes out, then what?
Yeah.
You have nothing.
Yeah.
Like that's why I hated like Need for Speed when they did that. Need for Speed did that for a while. They went and made all the games so that they were all like online only. So that, and especially if I lived out in the country at the time. Well, if your internet drops that day, you can't play the game.
No.
So I paid for a game I can't play because it's only on the internet.
Yeah. It's the same concept too. Like I don't belong to Spotify or any of that stuff. I actually still buy my own like albums. I'll buy them on iTunes, so I have them on my phone because like if you're driving places with Spotify, you don't have a good signal, it cuts out and stuff like that. I hate that, so I own my own stuff.
That's why I download. You can download from Spotify.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I had a big collection prior to that because right now I have like 45,000 songs I actually own, and prior to Spotify, I already had like 20,000. I was like, I'm just gonna just keep rolling with my own collection.
And then you always have rights issues where it's like, you know what, I want to take my music off of this.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, for instance, Garth Brooks fans, you can't listen to him on Spotify, Apple Music, only on Amazon.
Yeah.
So like, what are the odds that any people is gonna, which is dumb on his part.
Oh yeah,
Because
completely.
it's like, dude, you're just going to become irrelevant.
Oh yeah,
Like,
you have to be cross-platform to be able to stay relevant. If you single yourself just to one, okay, maybe in the moment it works, but long term it's not going to work.
yeah, it's like, what does he do? Like, he doesn't do anything. Like,
Has he even put an album out? And then like, when was the last
even
time?
when he does, they kind of suck.
He had his time. He's 90s.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
he's just become a joke to Tom Segura.
Yeah.
And it's even better now. Have you watched Bad Thoughts yet?
I have not. Have you checked it out?
Oh, God.
Was it good or bad? Or in between?
I don't know how to describe it. Because it's one of those, like, you're going to laugh, but then at the same time, you're going to be going, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? You're just going to get that, what are you,
Yeah.
what is wrong with you, man? Like, it'd be that kind of stuff.
That kind of thought process.
Yeah.
We finished up Righteous Gemstones season 4, my wife and I loved it, honestly.
Yeah, I've been wanting to talk to people about Righteous Gemstones because I'm like, there's so much in that show
Yes.
that happens that it's like, especially this new season. This new season was wild. I was not expecting what happens at the end of the season.
No, I was not either.
It felt like a horror movie.
Yeah,
Like it did switch genres, and I was like,
Stifler chasing everyone around.
yeah, I was like, what the fuck? If you haven't watched it, it's your fault. I don't know what to tell you. It's been out for a while. Go binge faster, bitch. But yeah, seriously, like that whole scene was like freaky because he was actually creepy.
Oh yeah,
When he snapped, and you could see when he, like, the moment where his character just switched.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, I was not expecting this twist.
I honestly thought it wouldn't put past me for Danny McBride to kill off like his own character and the rest of his siblings like that, and just
They were terrible people.
They completely were terrible. They wasn't really anything decent about them. They were just assholes who have money, and then sometimes did a kind thing, but very rarely.
I don't know, because now I'm trying to think, because I have to rewatch the ending now. But I'm like, would you kind of say they were better people after the fact? Like, they actually, like, they actually learned their lesson a little bit?
I think they actually did. I think that was the point of making it so dramatic and so suspenseful to, like, something. There's that thing like where people go through trauma and they learn something from it together. It's like trauma bonding.
Yeah.
And then you learn and change as a person, or just you make yourself a better person. But so I guess in that sense you could look at it that lens. They were trauma bonding over that whole sequence because
Yeah.
they were going to die. So
That's what I was wondering. It was like, they faced the verge of death, and it's like, oh, you guys going to actually act like Christians now? Or are you going to act like, still be
God.
like heathens?
That whole thing with BJ and the monkey still cracks me up.
Oh, my God. No, actually, you know what? They didn't learn their lesson, because remember they did the cape and pistol thing. That's
Oh
when he
yeah,
had
yeah. At the end, and he decided not to shoot him.
Yeah.
Then the ricochet hit that guy in the leg. sorry.
That's just they kind of learned their lesson. Like, they kind of, like, became a little bit better people. But yeah, the monkey thing was just...
The whole BJ being a naked male pole dancing, that was hilarious.
I like how they just put him in a wheelchair the rest of the whole
I
season.
know.
Like, you're just going to sit in this wheelchair the whole season.
My wife brought up a good point. She thought I was going to go there. I think maybe kind of a missed opportunity, maybe, but she thought he was going to be healed through, like, like at church and like rise and do all that crazy shit
Yeah.
like that, and then he would stand up and everything.
I would have loved to have seen his brother-in-law come back, Steve Zahn.
Oh yeah,
I was really hoping that they would have came back, because it was like, oh yeah, I thought they were going to join and be part of the family, and then you never heard from him again.
No. He seems like to be like the only person. So I was reading about this behind the scenes stuff with them. They're talking about their press releases, and I guess Baby Billy was supposed to be a one-off from season 1 too.
Oh, really?
But because he was such a fan favorite, they said we got to keep him in here.
I love that when he's like, can I get $2 million in a bump in a an 8 ball?
All I'm asking for is an 8 ball and $2 million. That's all I'm asking for.
That's all I'm asking for.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that been made as stickers. I love like the meme of him like in the clouds, and it's like when Grandpa sees you do something like super crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like him cheering you on from heaven. It's like when Grandpa see you throw a can at the blue-haired person or something. It was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that and his scene from last season where he was trying to sell those pills. I forget how the whole speech goes. Like, it's a wash. I pay my scientists, I pay my people. I make nothing, zero, zilch. But why do you do it, Baby Billy? Because I'm a shellfish.
I did this. I made that into a comedy meme. Because it's like, how much do you make off a comedy?
Oh, is that you who did that? 'Cause I think I saw that. Yeah.
He goes, I got zero, zilch. He goes, by the time I pay all my scientists.
that was good. I think you're the one who did that thing because I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I made that one. I was kind of proud. I was like,
that's good, man. That is really good.
That's what I said. Sometimes the stupidest things you think of,
I know,
will blow up. And then you're just like, the thing you actually spent time, 3 hours trying to make this reel. And it's like, no, we'll give you $250 at max.
Yeah, $250 and like 3 likes, 1 share. It's like, oh, thanks. Okay, great, lovely. Yeah.
Or the favorite one is when everyone sends you this, hey, like and share. You're like, hey, I sent you my reel like 50 times and you didn't share it once. I remember you.
Oh yeah, I know. Yes, there's people out there who have done that too, and people too who are like, even here, I'm not gonna say names, but they're like, hey, can I get on your show? Bring it on your show, and never return the favor. Never once returned the favor. So I remember you guys.
Yeah, I've always been one of those like, I'm like, I don't even know how to get on shows anymore. Like, it's usually someone ends up texting me like, hey, do you want to be on a show? You're like, yeah, sure. And then everybody's like, you got to reach out, man. I'm like, who do I ask? Like,
now, are you still like actively in open mics and things right now? Are you still doing all that stuff?
So I go Mondays. Wednesdays, I've been driving out to Ohio.
Oh,
there's a place called the Funny Farm.
Yes, I've never been there, but I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been driving out there on Wednesdays. But yeah, I haven't really hit a lot of mics in the city as much as I want to. I've been like trying to make plans to, and then every time something's come up, and it's like, dang, I need to get out more. I know I do.
I know, at least you can verify if this is true or not. I've heard like sometimes there's so many comedians at these open mics in Pittsburgh, like you only get like 3 minutes or less sometimes because there's too many.
There's some
crazy.
nights where I think there were some nights at Scarps where like the list was like 60 comics, so it's like, hey, we gotta cut everybody's time down. Like,
yeah, you can't. Yeah.
But that's always like New Year's, like summertime.
People, yeah. I don't. So in Altoona, we don't like. Everyone gets 15 minutes and everything, so that's nice.
Oh, nice.
That is really nice. But the problem is with that though is there's not outside the comedy farm. There's nothing that's just for comedy. So you're mixed in between musicians. So like you have 3 musicians, then here's a comedian, 2 musicians, and here's a comedian. But you get 15 minutes though, and that's very hard to get anywhere.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple mics that do 10, like in the city, and sometimes they'll let you like, hey, I'll give you 10 because I know you got a show coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, yeah, it doesn't help me when I'm doing 20.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
And too, they cap them too. So there's X amount of people so that way everybody gets 15 minutes. Because of that, sometimes it gets booked out a little more in advance. Like sometimes maybe 2 months later you can be on this open mic because people are always trying to get on and they get on. So it's a waiting game, honestly.
Well, we have some cool, like, I know Monday they have a new one. One of the guys, he was a guest on here. His name's Joe the Bull Guy. He runs a mic on Mondays.
Okay.
Out in Monroeville. Like, no, not Monroeville. Homestead.
Okay.
Homestead. Like, it's like right by, it's like where the Improv is, but it's like kind of like off from that.
Yeah.
So it's like 5 minutes from there.
Okay.
So it's a cool little mic because they get music and comedy. And then Amanda Averill runs one. She runs Getaway on Mondays.
Where's that one at?
That one's everybody always asks me where's Getaway at, and I never remember where Getaways is because, it's like I live in Pittsburgh, but I don't know where anything is in Pittsburgh.
Dude, driving through Pittsburgh as a person who is not from Pittsburgh is nuts.
And
It's crazy.
There's so many neighborhoods, and everything's in a different neighborhood, and you're like, oh yeah, that's the general. Like you'll say, oh yeah, that's in North Shore, and it's like, not really. This is this side part of North Shore that's actually called this town. I'm like, it's by Heinz Field.
I screwed up 3 times coming here because the way I looked at my GPS is like, do I do this or do I do that? It was vague.
Yeah, like there's 2 lane splits, and it's like just go around. It's like, but which one? The one that's going slightly to the right or the one that's going right? Which one do I pick?
Yes. Yeah, I had that happen coming here, 2 spots, and then I looped around and a whole full circle and came back. I'm like, fuck, seriously?
Yeah, and I'm using Apple Maps too, which is like trying to use the GPS on hard difficulty. It's like it's super ridiculous.
I'd never even tried Apple Maps. I just have Google Maps.
I remember when GPS were so bad in Pittsburgh, like the skyscrapers were screwing up like the signal.
Really?
Yeah, like it'd be like trying to figure out where to turn. Well, here it was so slow because the signal was getting messed up, and then when you try to get relocated, it had a hard time finding you to tell you which street to go down.
Oh, damn.
So I would like circle the block like 50 times.
When I started in 2011, I was coming up here 3 to 4 times a week for 3 years. That happened a lot, and I never knew why. I'm like, why? Because rerouting. I'm like, what am I supposed to? What turn am I supposed to take? I don't know right now. Yeah. And I will pull over and like wait for it to catch up. I'm like, okay, that's where I'm supposed to go.
So yeah, man, like you just pop down. You hit me up a couple days ago, said you were going to be in Pittsburgh today.
Yeah, doing some podcasts for some of the other people, and then I'm going to be up here on Wednesday for a show, and then I can't say what movie it is, but there is a movie film nearby and everything, and
nice.
I'm an extra in that, and I got to come up here for fitting, and then
Ooh, I want to guess. I probably know. If I know movies that are being filmed around here, I can probably guess the movie, but I won't guess it because
I signed an NDA,
yeah,
so I can't say which one.
I signed up for to be an extra in a movie. It's going to be filming here this summer, and I'm really hoping I get in this one because this one's like, oh, okay, this is. Nice. I like everyone it's in this. I want to be part of this.
That's awesome. But is it? I'm not from around here, but is it custom like summer season is like movie season around here?
For some reason, it is. Like, for some reason, they've been filming a lot of movies here.
That's awesome.
Well, I mean, they did that Jason Momoa one before COVID, and that was mostly in the fall because the movie's set in the fall. So, like, I guess it's whenever the movies are, set, I guess.
I don't know.
Like, Mayor of Kingstown's always, like, early spring, late fall kind of thing.
Okay.
Because they're supposed to be in Canada. So
yeah, oh, that's true. Yeah, so you're making Pittsburgh a backdrop for Canada.
Well, I guess it's because of the prisons. I guess like all the architecture here kind of looks like a rundown part of Canada.
It's interesting because you have places like a lot of places film and up in Canada, then make it look like it's from around here.
Yeah, you watch The Flash and you're like, oh yeah, I seen that same building in Arrow.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we're supposed to be in separate cities, but we're literally just filming in Vancouver.
Yep. Always in Vancouver is like the hot spot for like movie making.
I think that's like the New York of Canada, isn't it?
It must be, honestly.
Because I think there's one like that's the one that's like on the New York side of Canada, right?
I don't know.
I can never remember like where things are in Canada.
I have no idea.
That's how much they matter to me. I'm just kidding. Please book me in Canada.
Please book me.
I accept you as our new overlords.
Send help.
Dude, I've been watching Simpsons recently. Like the older Simpsons
episodes. Seasons 1 through 9, like when it was okay. Yeah.
My God, is it so funny.
It is really funny.
Like there's some things in there that still are hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, and Homer's actually like trying to do the right thing. Like Lisa feels that she's ugly because like she had a cartoon drawing done of her.
Yeah.
And they made her look ugly. So she's all feeling bad about herself. So Homer wins a ticket to get this Duff blimp ride, sells the ticket to enter Lisa into a beauty pageant because he wants to show everybody how pretty his daughter is.
That's nice.
And I'm like, that's actually really fucking nice.
That is really nice.
It's Homer.
Yeah.
Like, Homer now would like somehow fuck it up and
Yeah.
still be an idiot. Like,
I haven't seen all. Trust me. I have season 1 through 9. I've probably seen 50 episodes, which is nothing compared to how many there is between season 1 through 9.
yeah, there's over. Whew. I'm trying to think. Yeah, because every season's like 22 episodes.
So first season was only like 6 or 8 or something like that, but in season 2 and beyond was like 20 something, 25, 28 or something like that.
And I was just watching one today. It was something where it was Bart got in trouble, and Homer banned him from seeing the Itchy and Scratchy movie.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that one.
So Bart never gets to see this movie. Everybody else does, and he doesn't. It kills him. Like, he's basically like just destroys him as a kid.
Oh my God.
And Homer's like, I'm sorry, like, I don't want to do this to you, but you're not stopping. What am I supposed to do? Like, you gave me no other option. Like, it's weird. Homer cracked the whip, and he was just being he literally didn't buckle throughout the entire episode until like the very end. They kind of pay it off.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is why Homer did what he did, and here's the result of it.
Was this the Conan O'Brien era that you were watching?
I think it's like right in that era.
Okay.
Like, he just started, maybe.
Did you watch
It's like 3 or 4.
the Netflix? What was it called when they gave him all the award? The Mark Twain.
I
Prize.
haven't yet.
There's Camille Nanjiani had a good bit in there where he has a slideshow, and he talks about how everyone talks about Conan O'Brien, you know what he contributed to the actual Simpsons, and if you look at his actual contribution of what he wrote and did, and it's like nothing. It's nothing at all. He wrote like 3 episodes himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
But he was a head writer there.
but he was like helping everybody else.
Oh,
But
okay.
for his own writing, it was only like 3 episodes.
Well, did you see? I forget if he said it was because it was on. It was when it was. I can't talk right now. I can't remember if he said if it was when he was doing the Late Show or if it was when he was doing Simpsons. But he said one of the writers said something to him. He goes, "Here, why don't you have a tall glass of shut up juice?" And he goes, that became The Rock's catchphrase because one of the writers went to work for WWE, borrowed that line, gave it to The Rock, and The Rock made it famous. He goes, but it
Interesting.
came from Conan O'Brien's mouth. Like, he said that to another writer, telling him to shut up.
That's a fun factoid.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He was telling the story like on a podcast or something. I was like, that is wild.
Yeah.
That's the story behind that. Like I think Howard Stern asked him about it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen clips of that Howard Stern Conan O'Brien. And he got uncomfortable too. And when he was talking about Jay Leno, he kept trying to push him to like talk shit on him, and we wouldn't do it.
That's why, like, Howard used to be cool to do that, like, because he would get people to come on and tell the truth, basically.
Yeah.
Like, they would buckle. Now he's like basically a shill for Hollywood, so now he's just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna ask you any hard questions like I used to. Okay, dude.
Yeah, he's not the same as he used to be.
Yeah, you could tell he's definitely like sold out, which I get it. Once you make so much money, you're in the club.
And also too, I guess how much care do you have if you've been doing that for so long? I'm sure at some point like the care just kind of like
Yeah, and after a while, no one's gonna want to hang out with you.
yeah,
Because hey, you're the dickhead that no one wants to hang out with.
yeah, exactly. Unless you're trying to do reparations from the past, I'm like I'm nice now. I won't do that stuff to you anymore.
Yeah, he felt really bad about doing that to Robin Williams because he said he pissed Robin Williams off and he would never come on. Like he did it one time, had him on there, and then he was a dick to him the entire time. And he was just like, fuck you, I'll never come back.
Yeah, I didn't see
And
this
he
one.
died.
Oh shit!
And then Howard's like on there like, I never got to make that right. And it like he was like, it kind of bothered him.
I wonder if that's what slowly transgressed to him like becoming this version now.
Possibly. Yeah, because that was like around
2014.
2014. That's right when he started doing the, what was that? America's Got Talent.
Oh yeah. I found out through my introduction to Robin Williams dying because I was a huge fan of him even from a kid and everything. It was my guy. I was ready to go on stage at open mic in Altoona and waiting back in the green room, and my one buddy who was waiting there, he goes, "Oh my God!" He's like, "Robin Williams just died." I'm like, "What?" And then they say Scott Kelly. I'm like, My mind was not there, man.
You're like,
I was like, shit, he's my hero.
and then you're almost like, do I shit on him? Because that's the comic mindset is like immediately like, I need to make this laugh. Do I shit on him?
Dude, I was more in a shocked state, honestly.
Ooh, that's a celebrity death that messed me up.
Yeah, that he messed me up. I'll be honest. So they put out his. I think we may have mentioned this the last time, but since then I found it on iTunes. They have so much new material of his that's never got released anywhere. There are actually 10 albums.
Yeah, I think there's stuff where he was workshopping for like his specials.
Yeah.
So like you'll hear some jokes overlap, but then you also hear shit that he's never said.
Yeah.
And it's like because it wasn't good enough to make the special.
Yeah. I bought all 10 albums, and have I listened to any of them? One, and I have to say, it's kind of hard to listen to because he's still someone I looked up to, and still kind of like, I don't know, it's weird to say, but like I still feel like that loss from him. So I'm still like I'm gonna just force myself to listen to this shit. But
Yeah, there's sometimes I don't know why I do this to myself. I force myself into a depressive mood by watching old clips.
yes,
Like there's the super cut of him on Craig Ferguson. It's the best. It's probably the best interviews he did. Like the Letterman ones are good. Don't get me wrong. Like
Yeah.
when he came out after Dave had his heart surgery and he was in the medical gown and everything.
Yeah.
That's great. But what he does with Craig Ferguson, it's like he kind of got to go a little edgier than he normally gets to, and you could tell he was having a lot more fun with it. I'll have to show you like
Yeah, I've never seen these ones, honestly. I
Yeah.
haven't. You're right. I did that. Hell, I just did that to myself on Thursday night. I don't know why. I was just feeling the funk, and that I decided to watch on YouTube after everyone went to sleep, like sad moments on Scrubs. And everything. I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this to myself?
Yeah, there's just sometimes you're like, you know what? As a man, I need a good cry right
Yeah.
now. So I'm going to put on a bunch of sad shit
Yeah.
and just torture myself. And then I'll bury this down and never
Yeah.
address it again.
I felt great Friday morning when I woke up after I did it to myself on Thursday night.
See?
I put myself into depressive funk, cried at a few things, and then just went to sleep.
Yeah.
That was it.
I got one today. There was some fight in New Orleans and it showed like the kid's dad was the kid's uncle was a cop and he's like in there and he's chewing him out like in his face. And then all of a sudden you see him like he like gets him in his face, and all of a sudden you see them like hug it out, and I'm just like, that's a beautiful moment. Like I'm like, this is 9 o'clock in the morning today. Like I don't need this.
Oh shit! I know. But I don't even. I think this is the first I've openly talked about this on any podcast or outside my wife with anybody. Like honestly, I will put myself in those moods. Certain bands, certain songs, I'll just like, it's time.
Yep.
I put it on and I'll get a good cry out. I'm like, okay, that was good.
Ooh, I have to go check the camera, so we'll be right back.
Oh, you're good.
And we're back.
So I gotta ask. So, what are your comedy guys? Ones you look up to?
Ooh. Well, I feel this one feels bad saying because it's like the first stand-up special I ever saw was Bill Cosby himself. Yeah, it was my dad loved Bill Cosby. But like that was when Bill Cosby was, family friendly and everyone loved him before we knew about
Yeah.
Real Bill.
Did. All right. I have a true thing. Funny thing, I did mention in the last podcast, but I'll mention it here. So I used to work in the prison, okay? And we had access. There was a time he got incarcerated. I had access to his files. We all did that worked there. So this is his first meal. You know what it was?
what?
Pudding pops. Shit you not.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Like he was just like, I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
But it also was kind of like, yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah. So the other thing I can tell you, so he got hit in the face with a hot dog, and he got put into isolation, and that's where he remained. And at that point in time, my superintendent and everybody else said, if you look at his files any further, we will be fired. So I don't know anything else. But like, yeah, it was crazy. We all were checking every day, like, what's Cosby up to? That's going on in the prison for him?
I'm like, but you ain't going to do this for everybody else. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Why is he getting special treatment?
Before he got put in isolation, he was at the chow hall doing stand-up to all the people.
And it was actually crushing. Everybody was
It
crushing
probably
too.
was crushing. You ever get convicted of something you're not guilty of?
Yeah. Well,
Every inmate like, oh, I'm not guilty either.
you would think at a certain point, once you're already in jail, be like, all right, guys, you got me. Like, once you confess, you're already in jail. They can't tack on anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're already in there. Like, if you actually did it, just be like, all right, I did it.
Yeah. Completely. I know he did. I know, like,
Yeah.
he definitely did. I actually heard rumors about him. When I was starting to do comedy up here in 2011, there was other senior comics who mentioned the rumors about, what he was doing.
So I remember I was in Nashville, and I met Sheriff Little he was on Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And he said that he worked with Bill Cosby one time. He goes, I am a trained actor. And he came in, was like trying to bully everybody on the set kind of thing, because I'm a big comedian, whatever.
Yeah.
And he tried to like say something about his acting skills. He goes, sir, I am a trained actor. You're just a comedian. Like, he shut him down, and he was like, I didn't get to work with him much after that, because he's like,
Damn. Yeah.
he's like, I don't care, because he was just being a dick.
So think of it this way too. The Cosby Show, he was a gynecologist. And then we know now. And
His wife was a lawyer too.
Yeah.
So like, hey, in case he gets caught, she's there to bail him out.
He developed that show too. So like, there has to be there is an irony involved in that right there. I want to be a gynecologist on this show. Okay, Bill. All right.
Yeah, like you could have been anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
But you
Could have just been a doctor. Didn't have to go into details
Yeah.
of what kind of doctor. Just a doctor.
no one cares on a sitcom.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's sometimes you're watching a movie, you're like, and you start thinking about the writing process. Like, how did you guys pitch this?
Yeah.
Like any type of movie. Like, for instance, like any movie that has a sex scene in it. How do you write in a sex scene? Like, without someone just being like, you mean to tell me someone on that writing staff's not somewhat perverted?
Yeah, like why was this necessary?
Yeah.
In this sequence.
Yeah, they could have been like, oh yeah, and they kiss, and yeah, it moves on.
Yeah,
But you didn't need that scene in there.
Even in the other part too, you could have them making out, and then they flop onto the bed, and then it pans out, and then we
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, I just feel like they're somewhere somebody is going, this is what I wanted. Like, someone's like in the creative process, like, I got what I wanted.
Yeah.
I got to see titties. I'm excited. Like, that was his move.
I don't even know if they get to see it because I know they do closed sets, so they're even there.
Yeah, but they get to watch footage anyway.
That's true. Yeah, in the editing room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just something I always think about. Like, because I'm like, if I'm writing something, it's like it never crossed my mind to add that in.
Yeah. Only way I could think of would be if like you're portraying like a person who's like, a prostitute, and you're trying to get in the bowels of what she's seeing and going through. Maybe at that point, then.
Yeah.
Because if you do cutaways, you're not seeing the full damage of what she goes through to her own body.
Yeah. Like, it's weird. Like, when you're watching like for instance, Taxi Driver. Like, Jodie Foster's 12.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that.
She's 12.
Yeah.
This is weird. Why are we
forgot.
doing this?
Shit, there's that. What was the other one? Was it Laguna Beach or something?
Oh, the Blue Lagoon.
Blue Lagoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one's actually like,
Yeah, I never
how
saw
is
it.
no
but-
one in jail for this?
Yeah.
How is this movie even allowed to be put out?
I remember that Romeo and Juliet movie from it was the 60s or 70s where I forget the girl's name, but she was only 16 at the time. You see full tits. And I don't remember where I saw it from. In junior high, we were reading the book, and she played that movie.
Yeah, I remember reading the same. It was probably the same English book.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then I remember the teacher's like, we're all grown ups here. And I didn't know at the time. But
Yeah,
now as an
you're
adult.
assuming. Oh yeah, she's probably 18.
Yeah. But now as an adult, I know like she was 16 at the time showing full tits. I was like, that is
You get forced to do that stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, I heard was it Quentin Tarantino was on? He was talking about Randall Park, that he got canceled like in the 60s because he stood up to a director because they were shooting Adam and Eve. And
Okay.
he's like, I want full nude, and we're like, well, you guys can't show full nude, so what's the purpose of us being naked if you're not going to see us anyway? And it was just like, you're just being a weirdo you just want to see her naked because like it's who
Yeah.
they cast as Eve or whatever, and like because he stood up to the director, he was labeled difficult to work with. So like a lot of
Go
his
figure.
jobs got.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, of course, that's what we're doing here. Like,
If you want that, you could go to the set of Caligula. Caligula. I think if I'm saying it right. Yeah.
That's a hard one to know. That's a very
wordy, like Caligula, whatever.
Yeah, and you're like, you guys are Italian. Why did you come up with this?
That was crazy. That apparently they even hired porn stars during that whole orgy. I never even seen the movie. All I know is like some of the movie. So if I haven't seen the movie, I'll read a shit about a movie. I'll read it on Wikipedia and just like research and look at it, even though I've never seen it. And I'd never seen that movie, but I've read all about it though.
Oh yeah, and like I like how all the actors had no idea all that other stuff was happening. Like they had a general idea, but they're like, oh yeah, that stuff wasn't in there. We weren't around for that. They added that stuff in.
Yeah, it's crazy. All these porno people from it.
Well, dude, they have that picture of like people lined up going to the movie theater to go see a porno movie in the theater.
Oh yeah,
like. I guess we're almost at that point with movies like Saltburn being made. Like, that's weird.
I never saw it. I know about it, though, but I never saw it.
That's why I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to.
And talk about talk about a movie I never saw. So, like, I always like to, like, all right, so some people may not like to read what a movie's about before they go and see it. I'm not that way. I love, like, spoilers. I love checking it all out. Like, I never saw Macaulay Culkin's The Good Son. Never saw it. But after reading about it, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch my Home Alone dude that I liked a lot, like murdering other people. I'm been cool with that.
Yeah, and it's like he plays a really good villain too.
Have you seen it?
I've seen like the ending.
Okay.
Like it's one of those.
Well, I've seen the clips of the ending where the bomb lets go
of
him and goes after Elijah Wood. Yeah.
And I think it's Jamie Lee Curtis, right?
No, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
I don't know who it is.
It was weird. I was thinking like it's either her or the mom from Home Alone, and I was like, nah, that's too obvious.
No, that's not her. I am not sure who it is.
How about like she's like been killing it lately with like the roles that she's been given?
Oh yeah, you talk about the mom from Home Alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just finished up The Studio with Seth Rogen, and she's in that too.
Ooh, I haven't watched that yet. I heard it's hilarious though.
It's really good, especially if you are up to date on like celebrities and like what like the movie culture is nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have to go very deep into like behind the scenes stuff. It's pretty crazy. I even seen like Seth Rogen said he's took a lot because he plays a studio head, so he took a lot of direction from like what he went through with other studio heads, and he put a smorgasbord of them in. But some of them have called him out and like, I know that part was about me.
Oh yeah. Well, he was watching. I think he was telling a story about Superbad, and he said the character. They said the character Seth cannot play a PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah.
Like you can have PlayStation products, but we don't want him playing it. And they're like, why? He's too shitty of a character. And they're like, hey, you know that character's based on me, right? Like,
yeah.
like they're telling him this. He's like, I wrote the character about me. Like,
yeah, they wrote that movie. Him and his writing partner Evan Goldberg wrote that movie in their teens. I'm sure they obviously updated it and everything, but like, yeah.
And those guys are crushing like every adaptation they're given.
Oh my god, I even like
the Boys,
the new Turtles movie. I wanted to see that with my kids. I'm like, I actually really liked this. It was funny. It was cool.
I was like protesting it because I'm like, this is dumb. Why are we doing this? And then like I watched, like everybody was like, this movie's surprisingly good.
Yeah. And
then it was like on Paramount Plus, and I watched it. and it was like, this was actually really good. I was surprised.
I was very surprised by it because I grew up with the '87 Turtles, so I have a special place in my heart with those ones.
Right.
And I never even liked any incarnation since then. I'm just sort of like that, my childhood. Don't stomp on my childhood. I know that sounds like a stupid adult to say that, but like
my favorite thing to do is to ruin Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 for everybody. Like there's a comedian in Pittsburgh, Julian Atwater.
Okay.
That I told him this, and he's like, no way. I think it was him. I told him, I was like, if you watch Turtles 2, they don't fight with their weapons.
They don't?
And they're like, no. I was like, yeah, so go back and watch it. Every time they beat everybody up, it's like with other things, anything but their weapons, because they weren't allowed.
Yeah. Parents were pissed off from the first movie, so it was too violent for kids, so they cut it for the sequel.
First movie rocks.
That still rocks to this day.
It's like it holds up, even with the turtle suits on. Like, how did you guys screw up a sequel to this?
To me, from everything I've read, it was just what happened with that is they had to tame it down so much because of backlash from parents.
Which I'm like, hey, you took your kids to see the movie. It's not my problem.
Well, too, I never read the original comics from that, but apparently the original comics were that dark
Oh yeah,
So they mixed a little bit of the cartoon and the comic book, and the result was the first movie.
yeah. And that movie, like, I think they said it was the highest grossing independent film at that time.
Oh wow, I didn't. Yeah, that's cool.
Because it was like nobody wanted to touch it. Because like, who's gonna watch a movie about kung fu turtles?
A lot of people did.
Did.
When I was a kid, man, that movie was on repeat on my VHS player. A lot.
Yeah, that one's good. The second one's like passable because you can kind of like ignore a lot of things. And
Yeah.
Still, like, you know, you got Vanilla Ice in there. It makes it super
Ice.
90s.
What was that song? Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
Yep.
Yep. I have that. I hate to say it, but I own that song. I do.
Good song.
It's part of my childhood, man. I'll own it.
Yeah, that's a good song. And then you had the knockoff Bebop and Rocksteady.
Toka, Razor, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Super Shredder.
That right there pisses me off because I thought it was a cool concept that was done so quickly.
Yeah.
Like, he shows up and 5 minutes later he's defeated. Like, that should have been more of Super Shredder,
Yeah.
honestly.
And then it's Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
That's the fun part. Is like, oh yeah, it's Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Have you ever like seen him in other things before?
No.
He's in like the first John Wick.
I must have missed that.
Yeah,
I watched that.
he's the Russian guard that when he shows up to the bar, and he like lets him go, and he's like, "Thank you, Mr. Wick," and he walks away.
Wait, is he the guy in the Punisher movie with Thomas Jane?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
He's
when he actually got stabbed by accident, but they still kept rolling.
yeah,
Oh shit! Okay, yeah, then yes.
yeah. I met him at Comic-Con, I met him twice. He came with Scott Hall the first time, and then they were making comments about some girl dressed as Wonder Woman as she walked by. That was nice. They're like, "Oh yeah, guys, we're gonna walk away from this one."
Oh, dude, I've been to your guys' Comic Cons here, and there are some interesting girls that dress a certain way. You know?
Oh yeah,
I'm like,
there's a reason why Psylocke's my favorite X-Men now. Like, once you see that outfit in person, you're like, you know what?
yeah.
Yeah.
I brought my kids the one time, and my wife's like, "How many girls are walking around like almost nude?" I'm like, "I did not know this happened here."
That's when you're just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I
Yeah, I
don't see
know.
nothing.
Son?
What are you referring to? Please, if you see something like this, you need to tell me this so I know to be aware, because I have not seen anything.
I know. My God, that is disgraceful. Look
Yeah,
at 'that again.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Look
Oh,
at that.
damn.
Jesus.
Look at that.
Jesus.
With that G-string Hanes right there. Oh my goodness. God gracious. Oh my God. You know, I'm gonna take a photo of this here later. I'm gonna report this to somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know where, but I'm just gonna hang on 1 second.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's not going to the cloud, I swear.
No, it's not. Not completely. No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah,
Just
there
some
was.
Secret Service somewhere in Switzerland that we don't ask questions about.
Yeah. She's my favorite Mortal Kombat character. I just want to get a picture right here. Just in a certain spot right here. Can we just
Yeah.
get a picture? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
dude. And then for every good Harley Quinn you see, there's like 10 bad ones.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
ones where you're like, oof, like they're the ones that like they idolize the Harley Quinn Joker relationship because they're single and don't realize that, hey, listen, he will kill you.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a toxic relationship. I'm not sure you understood that part of it.
Yeah.
You just see the romanticizing part.
Yeah, I feel like dating in your 30s is dating everyone who got into a relationship after the Suicide Squad movie.
Dude, I am so glad I am married because I can only imagine, like, I've been married for almost 20 years here soon, so it's great because all I hear about from all you guys are single and 30s and going through everything. It's like, shit.
Well, it's like, because you do meet some ones where it's like they come out of bad relationships and you're like, you do feel bad for them, but then it's like, oh, I feel like you're just a pit stop.
Yeah.
Because like you'll have a nice date with them and I'm like, okay, cool, and then like you'll go on a second date and then nothing, or like, you know, they're just like, oh, I'm not really ready for another relationship, and you're like, why did you get on, like, why did you even come out? Like, I don't get it. But
you know what? I'm glad, again, I don't have to worry about that shit, man. I got, as they said in Lonely Island, I got that pussy on lock. So, yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah, we're good to go, man.
Dude, I had a hilarious thing that happened to me that I don't know if I can tell the story yet. It's one of those, like, it's still a work in progress.
Okay. I got you.
But it's just a wild thing that happened that was just like, I can't believe this happened. And you're kind of impressed with yourself. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you know what? There's a, all right. So I don't know if you're going to tell the story or not, but I'll tell you something though.
Yeah.
So something that I had. All right. So I don't know how many times at open mics you've ever had anybody that got kicked out. I don't know if you've been a part of anyone getting kicked out yet, like or banned from an open mic yet, or you've seen it happen.
I've seen people get banned.
I'm sure.
I've heard of people. I've never seen it actively happen. Like your band get off the thing.
So I've never seen this in my life. I'm sure you probably never seen this yet either. So there was this dude who he showed up at the open mic in town, and he asked for if he could connect to the Bluetooth, and we gave that to him, and he started playing. He pre-recorded his bit, so he pressed that. It was going over the speakers, and he was talking about he wasn't even black, but he was talking about how his big black dick and everything. And as he's doing it, he's putting blackface on. Yeah. We were all like, what the fuck is going on right now? And the owner of the bar goes up, pulls him off the stage, and is like, kicks him out immediately. The best part is, he's a hippie. He belongs to a drum circle. Like, what's going on here with this contrast?
Dude, listen, man. Just when you think hippies are the safe ones,
Yeah.
because you're like, oh, peace and love. Obviously, these guys are
Yeah.
going to be normal. You meet. I was working like camera for like a rodeo or something. So I was checking out this booth they had. Like this guy was selling knives or whatever.
Yeah.
And I bought a knife. I was like, all right, this is cool. Like, you know, a cool little thing. And I was talking to him. I was like, yeah, I do stand up in Pittsburgh. He's like, oh yeah, that's awesome. And he's like, man, I don't know how you do all these jokes. He's like, with all the, and he just says the N-word like openly. And I was like, why did you feel comfortable with me enough to say you could say that? Like,
if he's doing that with a stranger, it looks like he's doing his own life with people he knows.
but that's what I'm saying. This guy had tie-dye shirt on, like, just, like, you know, openly admits, like, yeah, I smoke a lot of weed. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, dude. And, like, you know, he's like, yeah, I do mushrooms. Yeah. I'm like, but then he just drops, like, slurs, like, left and right. And it was like, that's insane to me that you felt comfortable enough to tell me this.
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm just going to walk away now because I don't know how to handle this situation because I'm not prepared for this.
They're called black people or African American
Yeah.
or just say a person.
Yeah, just say a person, dude.
You know, you don't have to go that route.
Yeah, we don't have to.
No.
We don't have to go that low.
You know, all right. So, because the town I live in, I don't know if you know this or not, but it's a huge KKK scene.
Oh,
Huge like that. So at the open mics and shows, I've been working on like jokes making fun of them. It has not been going well.
I imagine it.
It is not. Like I said recently at one of the jokes at a show recently, where I said, you know that the husbands of wives of Klan members are called cluds, and the wives themselves are called cunts. And this woman goes, gasped immediately. And I broke character. I just said it out loud to the microphone, like, fuck you, fuck your beliefs, fuck what you feel, you're fucking wrong. And the audience just goes quiet. And after like a pause, I was like, okay, let's start the comedy again. Yeah. And I went back to telling jokes. But yeah.
Dude, like, that's one of the that's one of those ones when you're like, and that's when I realized I was hosting an open mic at the Clan Bar. You're just like, oh no.
Yeah, so my wife, she's like, how about you tell those jokes outside of this town? She's like, I'm afraid some skinhead's going to find our house like that.
Yeah, you could be like, I'm building a wall with every brick that's been thrown through my window.
Exactly. We're going to start 1, 2. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, you just started to be like, I built a castle. That's amazing.
I have a moat going now. So, yes. Good luck. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, actually the girl I just did the podcast with before I came here, she is actually born and raised from Altoona, so that's how she kind of connected up with me. And she's like, how would you describe Altoona? I was like, very open-minded.
How many times do people make a tuna joke about Altoona?
It's more now. It's more Luigi Mangione.
Oh,
because he got caught there.
Yeah. Everybody avoids Altoona now because they're like, no, we got snitches here. Like,
yes. Oh my God. Yeah. So that's
snitches and framed hitmen, I think.
Yes. Yeah. With there's also there's that unsolved cold case murder mystery of Fawn. There's quite some crazy stuff up there, man.
You guys are basically like Silent Hill.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think it's based on a town from around Altoona.
No, it's Oh God, you're gonna make. I'm forgetting now. It's a town that so underneath the mines caught fire and smoke came up through the town and it wasn't safe. So everyone in the village or town, left except for a couple of people. They stayed their ground because at a point it could collapse. Your house
Yeah.
could collapse. So, but they stayed. But it's still smoking. It still has that misty fog and everything else like that. That's what that town is based off of, the Silent Hill.
I thought it was like towards Altoona though. I couldn't
No, it's
remember.
further away. Actually, it's like 3 hours away from Altoona.
Could you imagine going there now and then, like, of course, that's the time you take a step on the street and it collapses.
I know. We thought about prior to kids. Me and my wife wanted to do go visit like ghost towns around the Pennsylvania. We thought about that. That's where our thought was too. We're like, what if we were the people that would just, hey, this is interesting, and just
well, like
gave
when
up.
people found like the tunnels, like where they filmed like the road.
Oh
Did you
yeah,
see the road?
yeah.
Like they found those tunnels and stuff, and like people were exploring those.
Yes, we did that. Where oh crap, I forget where it is right now. A friend showed it to me, and I took my wife up there a few years ago because it was so when we both worked for the state, our day jobs. So like there was one day a year that they were in school and we were off, and that is Columbus Day because schools don't celebrate that anymore, but the state does. So it's our only day we get where there's no kids. So we took a drive up there and explored the tunnels and everything. It was pretty cool. But I will say, there was a lot of spray paints of dicks. So many.
Oh, really?
So many. It's like they just took every single piece from the highway the abandoned highway that leads to it, and all of the tunnels and everything else like that. There's just dicks everywhere.
Yeah, you can always expect one. Anytime there's graffiti, if you look close enough, I guarantee you somehow there's a little tiny dick drawn somewhere. If you don't see if it's not big, huge, and glaring, there's a tiny one drawn somewhere.
Dude, I lost count at 60 something, and we were still going, and they were all brand new, all leading up to it, inside of the tunnel, everything. It was crazy. We just stopped counting. There's just too many.
Which is funny because like every time you watch TV and they show like a graffiti area, like you never see them on TV. I'm like, come on.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, that's a lie.
Yeah, come on, be real. There's more dicks than that on this.
Completely way more dicks in real life. Yeah.
That's why I was watching. Okay, so I'm watching Righteous Gemstones. I'm like, wow, this show has a lot of dick in it.
They purposely do that. Danny McBride finds it hilarious to put dicks in there. He said about that.
Did you see when he went on Theo Vaughn's?
Mm-mm.
He gave him the laser pointer and it shot a little laser.
Oh yeah. Now I remember. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I love his sense of humor because it's just like stupid shit. Like it's stuff that you'd find funny in middle school.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah, it's still funny.
It is funny. I know people didn't like his movie Your Highness.
I never watched it.
So it's like Lord of the Rings-esque, but like very dirty in his stuff. Like it's about stoners and everything. And there is a scene where like a Gollum kind of like character, like basically admits that he like molested Danny McBride's character like that. And like I'm surprised they kept this in the movie. Honestly.
Oh my god.
It was either that or it was James Franco. It's one of the two. Either Danny McBride or James Franco, and it was just so off the cuff. I'm surprised they kept it in there.
I do like I miss like when comedy movies like were still being made.
Oh yeah.
One of the last good ones I saw, like in the movie theater, I would say had to be Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
I saw that not in theater, but I saw that on rental. Yeah.
Yeah, that one I thought was funny. Like you get ones like that, and you're like, well, you guys are still making them.
I know.
Like,
just,
what do you do? Like, it feels like they go straight to streaming now. Like, you never see that in theaters now.
the only one I saw recently coming out was it's with Seth Rogen and Aziz Ansari. It's coming out in the fall. It has star Keanu Reeves in it too.
Oh yeah, I did see that one.
He's like Gabriel, and he switches lives with Seth Rogen's character has money. Aziz does not. They switched their lives, and he thought that would change like Aziz's character. Gabriel did, and it doesn't. He likes it too much, and he gets banned from heaven, and he's stuck on Earth.
Nice.
Which honestly, I was like, it's kind of like my idea when I wrote a script called Timothy, Son of God, and it's basically like Jesus doesn't want like Satan, the end of the world's coming, and Jesus does not want to come back. He doesn't want to do it. He has PTSD from the crucifixion. So God calls upon the other son, which is named Timothy, which has been banned from the Bible, all this stuff, because I wrote it in the vein of Danny McBride. Like it's supposed to be just like him. So me and my writing partner actually, according to his agent, we got it to Danny McBride. Now, whether he read it or not, or just sat in a pile, or just got right to the shredder, I have no idea. But we did get it to him. We wrote it for him. But then again, he's doing Righteous Gemstones, so it's kind of like, does he want to do another religious thing?
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, that's true, but it also like you never know. But he like it's weird how he said it like, yeah, this is 4 seasons and we're done.
Well, all right. So yes, that's true. I just saw a thing from him saying how he was not happy. Oh, you want to pause here?
Yeah, I gotta check the camera real quick. So
Let
we'll
me-
have to keep her.
My wife texted me anyways too. I'm
Yep.
certain that was her.
Give me 1 sec. And we're back.
So, all right. I did want to ask.
What we were talking about when we left.
I do not remember now.
Crap.
But I do have a question for you, though.
What's
I was
that?
curious. I would like to ask every comment, what's your writing process like for you? How do you decide to do things, cut things down, figure it all out?
I don't know really, because it's like a part of me is just like, because I don't like write everything out. Like I just write like I'll have a topic and I'll put bullet points in it, and I might like if there's one thing that stands out that like this what makes it funny,
Yeah.
I'll write that out and put that as the bullet point, and I would make sure I say that. Everything else is just one of those. Yeah, we'll wing it and see how I say it on stage.
Do you record your sets to hear back
Mhm.
afterwards? See what? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I have like every voice recording like from almost every set I've done
Awesome.
just on my phone.
I used to do videos. I just do audio recordings now. It just feels, I don't know, it's a pain in the ass to go through.
Yeah, I don't want to set up a video camera and then it fall over and then I can't use the footage and it's just easier for me just to have the audio recording.
Mm-hmm. He is. Now, have you gotten used to hearing your own voice? Are you cool with that still?
That's the problem is I've recorded them, but I just don't think I've listened to them. Because it's like I just can't listen to my voice. It's just too. I don't even listen to the podcast. Like I hate listening to them.
I hate listening to my own voice. So when I shot the special last year, the editor, he's like, we got to take this hour and 20 and we got to narrow it down to 33 minutes. I was like, okay. He's like, but it's up to you. You're in charge of what you want to cut. So I went through hours and hours of hearing my own voice. I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it so much. I really did. Like, I'm okay when, like, limited doses hearing my own voice. I'm okay with that. And because I've done it with listening to my own sets. But, like, in an editing room, constantly whittling things down and, like, yeah, here it is. Now take this and find the right angles and, edit it together this way. But, like, hearing just my jokes over and over and over, my voice over and over, I was just like, oh, my God. A, I don't find it funny anymore. And B, my voice, oh, crap. It sucked.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. That's what I don't know. I don't know. When do you comics do you think mostly like when they usually like what year do they film their special?
I don't. It's just a very because there are some people who are big names in Hollywood that still never filmed a special yet.
Oh, really?
Like Bobby Lee never filmed a special yet.
Ooh, that's right.
He's never done it. He's been around from the 90s.
He's been getting cast in like a lot of stuff too. I've noticed.
Mhm.
I think that podcast really helped him out a lot.
Yeah, it did help him out, honestly.
Yeah, like just them shit talking each other the whole time is what kind of blew him up. And they're like, oh, he has credits, like he did act.
Yeah, he did. He was on Mad TV for a while. You know?
And they also have to be nicer to him because he does call people out.
Yeah, he does.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that story about when he said that the one director screamed in his face.
I did not see that one.
He was talking about he did the one movie and the guy screamed in his face and basically like said a bunch of things about him being Asian, and he was like trying not to cry, and I think he kind of leaned like it was. I could be wrong. I thought he leaned like it was almost like it was Michael Bay maybe or someone like that.
That would make sense.
Yeah,
It would.
and it was one of those like he got his feelings hurt. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty rough. I wouldn't want to work on a set with somebody just screaming like that all the time.
Oh god, and I've read stories about people, toxic directors and stuff like that, or just like screaming in your face, like Joss Whedon. I heard about how crazy he was, just so insane and screaming and manipulative and just like, And also you see the other stories. Some people like he was great to me. Now, are you telling the truth, or was maybe just sometimes some people just don't get victimized like the other people did? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I look at, especially with having kids, has really taught me that I gotta see both sides of the story. Because he's like, he might have 2 boys, and like one will say, "He did this to me. He said this." And I can't be, when you're as a new parent, you like go in and like stop doing that, and then you find out that later from your kid, well, actually, this is what happened. And you feel like crap because you're like, oh, I didn't know he did that, which caused you to retaliate, which you shouldn't have done. but it made it look like that you started everything and you were the asshole. So you have to hear both sides of the story and piece it together.
Yeah, because like you hear because that's the thing is you hear some of the story and you're like, wait a minute, what happened that led up to this?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you start hearing both sides of the story, then you're like, okay, one person's right, or someone's right and the other one's not.
And sometimes it could be even just miscommunication that caused the argument. Like both were wrong.
Yeah.
And then just they're both taking out each other because one person perceived it this way, the other person perceived it that way, and they're fighting each other, saying shit they didn't mean, and it causes a fallout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I felt like I don't know what happened with that Blake Lively thing. Like, so remember that was a big deal.
It still is. It's still in court.
Yeah, and it's like no one's admitting whether like was he just being a nice guy or was he actually being a dick. No one really knows for sure because like he presents evidence that proves his side, and then they produce evidence that it's almost like maybe you guys were both kind of being this way.
That's why I made that miscommunication statement. I think that was a big miscommunication from both parties, and both were perceived in different ways, and it just caused this whole fallout.
Yeah, I think they should just be like, you know what? I would laugh if like the next judge goes, you know what? You guys are both stupid, and you should both leave. Like,
yeah, completely.
Yeah, like I used to love Katy Perry, and she went downhill. And I'm like,
oh yeah, I actually liked her music too, not even just the way she looked.
And like, well, yeah, it's like I had a crush on her, and then also her music was good too. But then it was like she just went crazy, and everybody's like, oh yeah, it's after she went down. I'm like, nah, she was on a declining for a while.
Yeah,
it's like you were just now starting to see where it's actually how crazy she is.
It's like Kanye West. I feel like you can only hide it for so long, and eventually, at some point, with all that stardom, all that money, it just starts creeping up.
It's just like it's people not handling stardom very well. Like they just it ends up going to their head. Mm-hmm. Like look at Will Smith. Will Smith, he was like on another level of fame where he thinks he was untouched.
Oh yeah.
So that's why he was like, yeah, I'm gonna slap you, and no one's gonna say nothing to me because it's this. I'm Hollywood elite. What are you going to do? This is the second time Will Smith has come up on the podcast in recent weeks.
Well, he had that run in the 90s, man. Those movies, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And then he had the Wild Wild West, and that was his first crash and fail.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
And then he really didn't have that many after that were good. That was his big bomb.
Yeah, because well, it's funny. So I had a buddy of mine talking about iRobot.
Yeah, I like iRobot. I really do.
And I was just like, yeah, but it's basically just a Will Smith movie.
Yes.
It's very much, I mean, it's a good movie, but it's a Will Smith movie. And I was like, but if you're actually looking for a good sci-fi movie, go watch the Outer Limits episode it's based off of.
I didn't know it was based off an Outer Limits episode. Interesting.
Yeah. I think the original guy, and I have to double check this, I think it's Leonard Nimoy, is the doctor.
Huh.
Or he's the detective, I think, in the original.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. That's interesting. I like fun factoids like that.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a bunch of those, like, because all those things were based on short stories. Like, a lot of these old westerns and stuff. Like, these stories were are already written from a book, and they just said, oh, we'll just put the main actor in and swap out their main actor or the main character with ours, and we already have the story. We just, adapt it to what we need for our format.
Yeah. Well, that movie Airplane. Do you know how that was verbatim another movie, and they just swapped in like this funny lines, but they changed nothing about the original concept of a movie. And I forget what it was called, but the Zucker brothers watched this movie and they thought, this is hilarious. This could be like they did this seriously, and if you just tweaked a few things.
Yeah, I watched that. They were showing like the comparison video.
Yeah.
And it was like the same dialogue, the same storyline, everything, except like, just jokes thrown in.
Yeah. It's crazy. I was like, I never would have thought of that. That's pretty cool. I am a fan of Zucker Brothers. I do like a lot of their parody movies that they've done. Now, I am interested in seeing the reboot of The Naked Gun with Liam Neeson in the role.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to go. I'm kind of nervous on that one. Just because, like, the trailer did make me laugh.
Yes. Same.
But it only made me laugh at one part.
The OJ part.
That OJ part at the end. When
Yeah.
he gets, when you just see him look at the camera and go, No. Like, we're not even going to address it. You already know why. It was hilarious. Just that way of just looking at the audience like, you know we're not going to mention OJ. You already know this is how this is going to... And you know why we're not going to mention him, too.
Somewhere out there, Norm Macdonald was smiling upon that moment.
Oh. If he was alive, he would have gladly taken part of that joke.
I know.
He gladly would have like been like, yeah, I can't wait to commit murder. Like, as a police former. Yeah.
You ever see? It was one called Me Doing Stand Up. I just listened to it recently, where he talked about OJ at the end because that's what the audience wants him to talk about. He mentioned it, and then that's his closing piece. And he said, he's like, I'm gonna be fair to OJ. I also don't think that you should have gone to jail for stealing your own shit and everything. He's like, so you're being kind of a hypocrite when you do it like that.
Yeah.
But really he's going to jail for like what he did originally.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Basically.
He's like, his line was like, you shouldn't get 3 lifetime sentences for stealing your own shirts.
But murder now, that's...
Yeah.
Oh, we corrected it. All is right in the universe.
Yeah.
That was one where the universe had to correct itself in a little bit. Like, okay, we messed that one up. We got it, though.
Oh, yeah. And then after he got acquitted, then he had that joke, like, if I did do it, or that book, if I did do it.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this? You like trolling everybody?
Did you ever watch there was the one SNL where it was Tim Meadows, where he was like drawing, like he was playing OJ and like on the doing commentary.
Yeah.
And he's drawing I did it in the formation on the screen.
Yes. Oh my God. I just love how relentless Norm was with OJ.
Oh, it's the best. Like, he just was every day just right there on him.
Yeah. And that's what got him fired.
Yeah.
Because Don Ohlmeyer was friends with OJ. He was the president of NBC and did not want... He told Lauren to have him stop doing that.
Have you watched the Saturday Night Movie yet?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes. I liked that a lot.
I thought it was cool. My brother was like, I thought they were going to do the sketches. I'm like, why? It's all about what led up to that night. Like, they're not going to do the sketches. Like, that's the whole point of the movie. Like, if you want to go find out what happens, go watch the show. Yeah. Like, I like this story. I mean, I heard they kind of like compiled some stories together.
Yes, all didn't happen that night before what you see in the movie, but they made it look like that, which made for a more convincing movie. Yeah. But all the stories are true that they did in that night. Leaving John Belushi, just leaving and not wanting to be a part of this, and having to find him and like getting the sign.
Yeah, I think they said the only thing they kind of fabricated a little bit was they put a scene in between Gilda and Belushi, because those are the ones the two that died the youngest. Yeah. So they were kind of like, they wanted to have a moment being like, yeah, they die later. Like, almost like, but this is them talking about mortality, I guess. Yeah. I know they probably never actually had that conversation.
Maybe not. I know, like, even that whole Milton Berle and Chevy Chase scene was like almost word for word as to how it went down back in the heyday. And that's what pissed Chevy Chase off. They put that in the film.
What a line, though. He goes, if you're looking for my comeback, you can scrape it off of your, you can wait and you can scrape it off the back of her teeth or something. Yeah. I was like, Jesus. Yeah. Like Milton Berle, like this Mr. like,
clean guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And he just had some raunchy comebacks. Like,
I heard behind the behind the scenes, excuse me, that he was very, very raunchy dude. Mm-hmm. Very raunchy. But obviously back then, they didn't do that stuff publicly. Yeah. It was behind closed doors.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many stories, like, especially like country singers, because you always see like the persona they have on stage. Yeah. Then you hear behind closed doors they're actually a nightmare. Yeah. And it's like, oh shit, like.
I feel like there's so many celebrities are like, obviously everything I hear about Keanu Reeves is like he's like an angel behind closed doors. Everything you read about that dude, but that's a rare exception. I feel like everybody else is like they got some weirdness, but we're all weird though too at the same time.
Yeah, which I'm like, everyone's got their own like little weird thing. Yeah, everyone does. Like, it's fine. Diddy's is weirder than everybody else's. Okay,
that is very weird, man.
It's a very weird.
All that baby oil.
Oh my God, dude! And then the weird part is when you're having the assistants and they're coming out and they're telling their side of it, and you're like, "This is not going good for you, bud. Like, you're done."
Diddy is done. Yeah, it's over for him.
He's going to jail no matter what. Like, at this point, you're just you're just sandbagging him with. He's never gonna get out of this.
No. It's weird even hearing that song "Bad Boys for Life" now from Diddy. It's like, well, was that foreshadowing too?
The part of you's like, is it another Epstein? Is it not? Who knows?
I don't.
And sometimes it's just, hey, you know what? Bad shit's out there, and sometimes the government doesn't know about it.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, you would think, like, how do they not know about this? I'm sure that it's not big on their radar. They have bigger fish to fry.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, this is fucked up and this is an issue, but when you have wars going on all across the globe,
terrorists actually want to blow up America the fuck up. Like, yeah, you gotta put some more eyes on that.
Yeah, it's like that's you almost like we have a task force. They're busy doing other shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get that. I feel bad for it. Apparently Justin Bieber got the wrong end of the deal. That whole Diddy thing, like Jesus.
Yeah, I mean I really feels bad for like ripping on Bieber now.
I did too, because I would make fun. I wasn't doing comedy at the time, stand up, but behind with my friends, like I was ripping him apart. And now I'm like, oh, maybe okay, never mind. I shouldn't have done that.
It's kind of like who is it? Pablo Escobar had a bit where he was making fun of Bieber, like when he was making fun of pop music.
Pablo
Escobar?
No, not Pablo.
Pablo Consuelo. No.
Pablo Francisco?
Yes.
Pablo Francisco.
Yeah.
Pablo Escobar. I like to know what his material was.
A lot of coke jokes.
Escobar did not die. He came back as a stand-up comedian.
There you go. That would be wild, though. I mean, what if that was like his version of what was the Oscar one? About the drug dealer that got the sex change and
I forget.
Yeah, that's like his version, like where except I go do comedy.
Yeah,
that would actually be really funny if they did like Be Cool, but like instead of doing coke, I'm gonna go do stand up.
Speaking of which, I'm not gonna say what I do for my day job, but I talk a lot with the public, and this one guy, he's looking for help, and he called in. He's from Puerto Rico and everything, and I have to ask the question where, like, do you have any felonies or anything like that? Are you wanted? Blah blah blah. And he's like, not here in America. He's like, I'm clean. I'm very good model citizen. I was like, okay.
But
so
what about there?
Yeah, were you applying in Puerto Rico? You were like a drug lord or something? Like, because he kept going over. He goes, over there, but here in America, new chapter, new life.
Yeah, but I'm like, hey man, like, what's your record there? So I know, like,
yeah,
what's going on. I mean, hey, we have had examples like, hey, nah, I ain't gonna make that joke. It's just not gonna go well for me. There's some jokes you think of, you're like, hey, it's like this, and then you say it, and everybody's like, you're stupid. You know that, right? And you're like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that.
We all say stupid shit as comedians, man.
Well, it's kind of like, like there is instances where people move to a new country and then didn't do any more evil shit. I was going to say, maybe that's what you didn't really hear the Third Reich spark up in South America anymore, but I still imagine some horrific shit was done still, like just God. Under the.
I find that whole like Third Reich disbandment of them all moving to was it Australia or
South America,
where like they.
That's where the movie that Boys from Brazil, where Mangala moved to there and was experiment. That movie's fiction, I think, but
there's a guy, Josh Gates. I don't know if you know who he is. He had like the Destination Truth, and he had an Expedition Unknown. It's his most recent show. He did one in 2014, 15, where they found like whenever they lost the war, a lot of the main head people moved over in this area, and it was hard to find. And he actually found it was a breakthrough discovery on this private little island. I think it was around Australia or somewhere. It was a private little island around there where they found it, and there's all this Third Reich and everything else like that. There's hidden doors and stuff. It's like it's where a lot of the head brass moved to.
Yeah, but it's like, why keep this going? He's dead.
I know.
Like that's the other part. It's like, hey, listen, he's dead. Like
the dream is over, man. I'm sorry, it's done.
That's what it's like. I couldn't get into watching the movie Valkyrie because it's like, oh yeah, it's the plot to assassinate Hitler. I'm like, but you guys failed. Why am I watching the movie?
True.
Like same thing with The Great Escape. Like I was so hyped to watch The Great Escape because I'm like, oh, this great elaborate scheme, and then the ending happens, which this could be my Mangala effect. No,
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different effect. But no, like this could be my Mandela effect because I thought the original story was they escape.
The Greatest Escape.
They don't. They all get recaptured and then are all shot by the SS. That's how that movie ends.
I never saw that movie. Great.
Oh.
Very no. No, I'm not upset you said that.
Okay.
I'm just saying that great, like great, like in the sense of like they just no happy ending. They died.
Yeah, there's no happy ending to that. It's one of those like, yeah, their greatest contribute was that they escaped, which diverted efforts from the front to go look for them. So that's what they did. That was their whole point of the mission was they get caught, they have to escape. Well, that's going to be German forces looking for them. That's going to be less people fighting at the front.
Like the equivalent of that. and our lives here would be like you leave your retail job and you go to a factory place. It didn't work out, and you go back to your retail job and you spend the rest of your life working there.
Yeah,
that's in some sense equivalent of that. It's just it's beaten out of you. It's done. This is where you resolve to.
Oh, if that's the case, because like I did that for a little bit. I worked retail when I first got out of high school. Worked in a factory and then went back to retail because I went back to school.
Yeah,
and like I was just like so frustrated because like anytime a customer would come to you and they were bitching about something, I looked at them like I really don't care. Like I literally would give them that answer like I want to help you, but since you're being a dick, I kind of don't care because this job means nothing to me. I could walk out of here right now and I'd still be happy because I can go find a job tomorrow because it's COVID. No one wants to work.
Yeah, dude. When I worked at Sears for a long time there. While I was in college, every Black Friday you had to do it was mandatory. You had to do a 20-hour shift on Black Friday.
Ooh.
So I was there really early. It was like I forget how. What was it? I can't remember. But the point being is that at the end of the night, it was like 9 something at night. We closed at 10 o'clock, and like 9:35, this guy comes up. He goes, "Tell me about this TV." And I just like looked at him and was like, because I was burnt out from that day.
Yeah.
And it's like. I just walked away and went and took a shit instead. I didn't give a crap. No pun intended. Literally, I did not care.
That's when you just look at the guy and you're like, I just don't care, and just walk away.
It's like all day long I'm trying to get, because that was your big sales. Like you made so much money that day off of because you got commission from every TV you sold at the department I worked in. You made so much money. Like I made $10,000 from that day.
Oh wow!
But the problem is though. You got to be careful. A few weeks after, people may like, hey, they were in the moment and they splurged and didn't want to, and they return, and then you see your paycheck start to dwindle now. So that can happen too. But like, I was just so tired of telling them like, hey, this is why this TV is so great. Let me tell you. You're like, oh fuck it, dude. I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm burned out.
There's just a point where you're just like, yeah, it's good.
Just buy it. Do you want to buy it?
Yep.
Dude, there was a guy who, if you act like you own something, people will never question you. This dude went in because we wore blue shirts and with khaki pants, and this guy just walks in. I thought he was a new employee. Walked in, took the TV off the stand, and walked right out, and then drove away. Security comes up to me. He's like, "Scott, did you see that?" I'm like, "See what?" He's like, "The guy that took the TV." He's like, "I thought a customer bought it," because a lot of times when you sell display malls, you take it off yourself and you take it out to the customer. I thought that's what he did. Nope, never even worked there. He's just some dude that walked right up, stole the TV, and went right out with it.
I mean, hey, that's the move. If you're going to steal stuff, wait till Black Friday.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a criminal, but hey, if you're going to do stuff,
so many people, you just can't have eyes on everybody. Well, again, that was then. This is like 2007, 2008. It was a different time. The internet isn't the way it is now. You still had to go to stores to get a lot of the deals.
Yeah.
Now you can just. I don't know how it is. I'm not out there anymore, but like I'm sure it's probably not the same, not the clusterfuck that it usually was.
No, now everything's kind of more. It's weird. Everything can be done online.
Yeah.
So it's like why even go to the store anymore? Like I kind of miss. It's weird. I walked around a mall and I got nostalgic, like real nostalgic walking around a mall.
Yeah.
Because they're just. It's a thing that doesn't exist anymore.
No, they're dying malls. Altoona's mall is dying. Everything. There's the only thing left is like Victoria's Secret, JCPenney's, and H&M. The rest of it is just
empty
random
stores.
Yeah,
and it's like occasional pop-ups. Now they're opening gyms up in these little malls.
It's turning into a college, is what it's turning into. There is a college, trade, or not what we call them. I can't think of community college that has bought up a lot of sections of that and everything. And apparently UPMC wants to buy a part of it too as well to turn into a health facility.
Ah, nice.
It's like it definitely malls on like they were, man, when we were growing up.
Yeah, it's like, and then you just it was nice just to walk around the mall sometimes. And now it's just like, yeah, the mall's just kind of dead. It's kind of sad.
Kind of grew up like me, dead inside, walking around.
I've like getting older has like really fucked me up.
Dude, I have these thoughts a lot, honestly, about adulthood. Even though I am a parent, I still have these thoughts, man.
Yeah.
I was never prepared to grow up. I never was.
It's weird. Like you just one day like, oh yeah, now you're an adult apparently, and you're like, when?
Yeah.
When did this happen? Like I still feel like I'm 25, and then I go out drinking and realize that quickly I am not.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's a different thing. Like we had a one-liner comedy competition last night, and then open mic, and then after that, everyone hung out in the parking lot and talked. I got home around like a little after 12:30, and I'm usually asleep by 9, 10. And I was like, fuck, dude, like I can't do that stuff anymore. I'm not built for it anymore.
I woke up. I was out late last night. Like I probably didn't go to sleep till around 4:00 in the morning. Just up, couldn't sleep, and I was like just looking at my phone, watching Simpsons. And I woke up this morning. It was like 7:30, and I was wide awake. Don't know what happened. Like I was like, okay, we didn't do any drugs last night, so we're good. But I'm wide awake, and it was just like I cannot wait to go to sleep tonight because it's going to be the best sleep, and I can go right into Monday, and I can start my schedule right. And you're like, okay.
I feel that, man. I do feel that seriously, because I couldn't fall asleep. Because you know, sometimes after a show, you just get wired.
Yeah.
And the brain doesn't stop because now I'm thinking like, oh, here's a tag I could have said, and here's blah 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 blah, and I'm just like, it just won't stop. And here it is, 3 a.m. I still can't sleep, and next thing you know, like because my kids wake up at 6 or 6:30, so like it doesn't matter. They got up, they woke me up, the dog woke me up, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm excited for that tonight too to go to bed. Like I'm gonna crash, nice.
Yeah. Well, I do know you have a way back to go to Altoona. Why don't you tell people where they can find you at?
Yeah, you could guys, Scott Kelly here. You can find me online actually as Scott Kelly Comedian because apparently there is a famous astronaut named Scott Kelly who I didn't realize that, and he's taken up all my space. So yeah, you have to look me up as under Scott Kelly Comedian for my social medias on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. But you can get my special on Prime Video as Scott Kelly there, and it's called Word of Mouth. So it's got great reviews from everybody. Got a 4.5 out of 5, rating. So I got like 10 or 12 reviews on it from strangers. It's been going great.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, so I'll put all the links in there in the episode details and stuff.
Awesome.
So I appreciate you coming down and actually doing one in person.
No, it's definitely different from the first time.
Yeah, because Zoom is way harder. I need to find a good internet connection when I do it next time.
I didn't realize the internet connection. It just that in that room with people is just a different vibe, man.
Yeah,
it really is. And you're just feed off of it.
Oh yeah, and it's like you're quicker to come back to stuff. And yeah,
completely.
So, all right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up there, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
All right.